Hereford Road Beach Pose-About Classic. The way it happened. January 4, 8 a.m. The beach wakes up. This weekend, this beach is going to see some of the best posers in the world. All of the big names have gathered to show themselves off against the elements and each other and themselves. Mick Rogers, 29, undoubtedly one of the greatest posers ever to pull on a tiny pair of Speedos. Local boy who's won this classic a record 6 times. Some say he owns this beach. Mick's out to make it 7. Mario Italiano, the Italian champ. He's posed on beaches all around the world and collected most of the major European titles. He means business. Nipper Moon, 32, a veteran. A man so far naturally up himself, some say he was born that way. Babyface Neil, the new boy on the beach. At 19, he's amazed some of the old hands with his audacious preening and egotism. Babyface is gearing up for the big one, and some say this is the face to watch.
Oh, look, I think we're in for some really... Michael! I think we're in for some really tough Judy! I think we're in for some really tough competition here today. I haven't seen a field of this calibre for quite some time. Mind you, these young fellas have got a lot of advantages we never had. The lightweight titanium frame sunglasses. We had to rely upon the heavy Baker lights. And there's at least 15 different types of suntan lotion in the market these days. All we had was the zinc and coconut oil tops. All in all, though, I'm excited about it. I think it should be a great competition, and there'll be a lot of really top ostentation, top egotism out there today. Mind you, none of these blokes would have held a candle to me. Carol, I see you.
11 a.m. The beach is filling. Competitors undergo their final preparations. Nipper Moon finishes some last-minute waxing. 11:30 a.m. The judges are in position. Tension pervades the beach, and finally, the moment everyone's been waiting for. Moon tries a couple of runs along the beach, looking cool, looking confident, but Mario Italiano is hot on his heels. The judges scored that one well, but Rogers is in top form. He's reaching for the suntan lotion, trying a couple of radical manoeuvres. Can this man pose? Not to be outdone, Italiano reaches for the dumbbells and treats the crowd to some of the most outrageous posing this beach has ever seen. But it's Babyface who wins the first round with a Walkman and a cool splash through the shallows. Suddenly, everyone knows there's a competition out there. Mick, a master of the big rollers, gets himself a tune. He's going to make the most of it. Nipper Moon decides on a radical manoeuvre with a bottle of champagne. But no, it's a wipeout. 1:30 p.m. and there's really only 2 left in it. The veteran Rogers and the new boy Neil. No one in this vast crowd moves as they're treated to the greatest feast of beach posing imaginable. Hair combing, preening, glasses polishing, lotion on lotion, every imaginable manoeuvre and more. Suddenly, it's all over. Rogers concedes, defeated but not disgraced. A new champ reigns.
Well, it was tough, Steve. I knew it was going to be tough. I was flying blind for a while there. I'd lost my mirror. But, you know, I think it's fair to say that on the day, the best man won, and that was me.
And will he be defending his title?
I'm going to be back tomorrow, Steve, but tomorrow's another day. I'm off to catch a long macchiato, so until then, ciao.
Tomorrow is another day. Another day for the crowd, another day for the competitors, and another day for posing at this, the eternal posing beach. Good evening and welcome to the 11th hour. The 11th hour, it's where the trouble is. I'm Steve Izard.
I'm Peter Moon.
And I'm Marianne Fahey.
Well, the Posebar Classic was one of the highlights of last summer, and speaking of summer, the New South Wales Police have really hotted up and...
That is the worst link I've ever heard in my life. I mean, how do you go from the police to the beach? It stinks.
It's just one of the little tricks of the trade, Pete.
Look, why do you put that voice on, Steve? And everyone knows, I mean, you know, it's not you. You don't talk like that.
Peter, some of us are professionals. New South
Sexist.
Wales...
Why do you have to open the show every week? Why doesn't Marianne get a chance to do it? I mean, you know, Marianne's a woman. I think she should... Affirmative action. I think she should read... I think she should introduce the first
all right,
item.
Peter, I don't mind.
No, you can do it, Marianne. You
No,
can do
Peter,
it. I think
it's
you should
okay.
do it.
I really
Marianne,
don't
you're
want to.
as good as we are.
Listen, suck, stop patronising me.
New South Wales Police clashed violently with squatters in Glebe last week. There were many incidents of violence. Meanwhile, however, in Victoria, police have employed a new form of crowd control, tickling. Police say that tickling is less expensive than the traditional means and is more fun. One constable, however, caused the test run to be abandoned.
Meanwhile, there's been rioting in Dublin. The church has objected to the government's decision to allow the sale of contraceptives in Ireland. The Pope told an Irish minister that the only rubber implements that they'd sanction in Ireland were bullets.
And in the United States, police have arrested a plumber who posed as a surgeon and transplanted a Delmatic twin flush cistern into the body of a Manhattan stockbroker. The plumber released the following statement: "I don't know what they're complaining about. It was an expensive unit. And I gave him a good price." The latter was in fact true. The bill was only twice that of the open heart surgeons. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
I have here the Shroud of Turin, the cloth that devoted Christians firmly believe bears the bodily marks and bloodstains of Jesus Christ as he lay in the tomb. But after only a few seconds, a new improved aurora, it comes up whiter than white. New improved aurora gets out even 2,000-year-old stains.
Hello there, I'm Darren Hunch, and quite frankly, I give a damn. Well, there's an election coming up, and as usual, we're not allowed to talk about it. The very issues that affect our lives for the next 4 years, and we're not allowed to decide on them. I think it's absolutely pathetic, I think it stinks, and you all know it's an invasion of our personal rights. We're going to have a phone-in poll on it now. If you think there should be an election blackout so that we can't see what's happening, give us a ring on our yes number, 1130. If you think there shouldn't be an election blackout, give us a ring on our no number. That's 1140. I'm waiting for your calls right now. This is very important. Give me, Darren Hunch, a ring right now. I'm waiting for your calls.
This is a perfectly ordinary, everyday office building. Not unlike many offices throughout Australia occupied by the public service. Yet, this building is somehow different. A cloud of suspicion hangs over it. For there are some that believe that within these walls, work is being performed.
No, not in this office.
So there's no work going on in this department?
No. Well, not to my knowledge. And if there was, we'd certainly know and we'd take appropriate action to deal with it. But no, the fact is there's been no incidents of it.
No work goes on in this building, or so say heads of departments. But ex-junior clerk, shall we call him John Bannon, tells another story.
I was in the public service for a while. Well, of course, I'd heard rumours, that people were working. But I never actually, saw anybody, like, doing it. And then one day, one of the blokes from the other departments comes in and, we're talking and that. And he asked me to initial an invoice. Oh, I thought, why not? I enjoyed it, and so I started initialing things a lot. And then after a while, that sort of lost its thrill, so I started actually signing things and just sort of moved on to the harder stuff, filing, writing letters, answering the phone.
Did you realise you were working?
Well, no. Not at first, but after a while it was obvious. I mean, you know, there were biro marks all up and down my arms and the desk.
John's paid the price of diligence. He now works for a private company with all that implies. High salary, status, and worst of all, a sense of achievement that he'll never be able to shake. Who's to blame?
It's the fault of the employer.
You mean the government?
Of course I mean the government. I mean, what they're doing is they're whacking pens and paper clips. I mean, you go out there, it's chock-a-block full of desks and filing cabinets and spikes. Of course, when you put that sort of stuff under people's noses, some of them are going to be tempted that Carol, where's my coffee? Some of them are going to want to work. It's only natural.
Nobody could do more than we've done to stop people working. We hire the wrong people, we put them in the wrong department, we have the air conditioning stifling, and we've instituted the most tortuous office floor plans. And basic commodities such as stationery are unavailable or ineffective. Now, just one example, Mary Ann. We've spent years perfecting this government pen, which will not write under any circumstances.
All very well, but not much use to John Bannon as he goes home after yet another day of achievement and success. And what about the rest of us? What makes the public service tolerable to most Australians is that it doesn't do anything. But unless someone is prepared to take the responsibility for the work crisis, the nation's sense of security could be in jeopardy. Marianne Fay, 11th Hour.
Hey, this show's really hysterical. Not funny, ha-ha. Right?
Oh no, funny different.
Yeah, like it's so refreshing.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Like most comedy shows try to be funny.
Yeah. And they are?
Yeah, they're so conservative.
What are your favourite bits on this show, Jane?
The bits the women do.
Oh, yeah. Women who do comedy are so brave.
Yeah, but like women who don't do comedy are really brave too.
Oh, yeah, women are just brave, full stop. Oh, yeah, what's that? It's a day-long spider, Jane.
Oh, where?
Over there.
Oh, like not that they bother me or
Oh,
anything.
no, it's just that they're poisonous.
Look, don't kill it inside because it's a bad omen, all right?
Oh, don't talk about bad omens, I get scared. Oh, what was that noise?
Don't know, it couldn't have been the television. We haven't got any sound.
Oh, sounds so bourgeois.
Yeah, anyway, I'm more into the special effects. Hey, that was an amazing effect.
Hey, Tifa, out of the way.
What does DEFA stand for?
Oh, D for dog?
What an amazing name for a cat.
Yeah. It's to scare the burglars away.
All right, of course.
At last, the album you've been waiting for. Harry Seacon's 50 Fat Favourites. Yes, it's a feast of fabulous fat favourites. Pig out to these golden oldies. Around my waist I've searched for me. What kind of pig am I? You're the cream of my coffee. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. All these and many, many more. Harry Seacon's 50 Fat Favourites. It's an ideal gift for the obese at heart. Harry Seacon's 50 Fat Favourites. Available at all leading milk bars, greengrocers, takeaways and delicatessens. Harry Seacon's 50 Fat Favourites.
Hi, and welcome to the show. I'm Mark Mitchell, and it's great to have your company. I hope you've had a great week, but even if you haven't, it's time now to settle back, relax, and enjoy the show. We've got a fabulous show for you with a glittering array of stars and some special features you won't want to miss. But just before we get on with the show, there's something I'd like to say to you on a very serious note. I've been in television now for 1 hour and 3 minutes. And I've always tried to be the best I can for you. But last week people told me I wasn't being myself. I thought I was. All I can say is that I've had more than my fair share of disappointments, but I've never given in. I just want to have some fun on the show. I've been in this business too long to worry about what people say. All I can say is that I hope you'll accept my apologies for that. I'm sorry, and I mean that very sincerely. On a lighter note, I received a wonderful letter during the week, and I'd just like to read that to you. Dear Mark, I think you're brilliant. I think you're a winner. I know you're going to be a megastar. That meant so much to me. And I just want to thank Diane for sending that to me. Diane's my fiancée. She's home now watching the show. Hello, darling. If you'd like to write to me, please do. Just write to Mark's Mail, care of... Can we get that on camera too? Thanks. Mark's Mail, care of HSV 7, Dorcas Street, South Melbourne, 3205. And each week, I'll read the nicest letter on air. And each weekly winner will receive this personal encouragement award from me. Well, look, it's fabulous to have you with us. Now it's time to get on with the show. Great to have your company.
Who is that guy? I thought he was axed.
Peter.
Greasy.
Meanwhile, today, one of the most unusual criminal trials to be seen in England. We cross to this story.
Up until only a few weeks ago, the bold and dashing Hood was a cult figure, the charismatic leader of a group of green-clad followers, the darling of a press that chronicled every minute of his fairy tale romance to the nobly born Maid Marian. Today, however, he stands charged in this court with defrauding the very lower classes that idolized him. Hood's organisation, Greenwood Enterprises, was responsible for collecting thousands of pieces of silver from often reluctant nobles for distribution to the poor. That was until a recent examination by the Sheriff of Nottingham's Audit Department revealed that only a fraction of the silver collected, in fact, reached its destination. Most of the silver was, in fact, siphoned off into a whole network of dummy subsidiary companies. Woodbow Works, Lincoln Green Cloth Company, Arrow Couriers, and so on. According to former members of Hood's Rat Pack, the so-called Band of Outlaws, the bulk of the money extracted went toward maintaining Hood's extravagant lifestyle.
Oh yeah, look, it was just unbelievably merry, you know, like every night we'd have great 36s of mead under the greenwood tree, you know, keep your horn full all night, you know, and great huge roasting oxes on the spit, you know, deers, you know, heaps of minstrels, you know, troubadours, but as much sort of folderol behind a maypole as a man could want in one night, you know. I mean, I suppose I never really thought about where the money was coming from, really. I just can't believe Robin's done this. You know, I mean, he was as straight as an arrow.
What do you say to the allegations that Hood rigged archery tournaments?
No comment.
Or to the allegation that Hood extorted money from people to cross bridges?
No comment.
The so-called godfather of the merry men, Friar Tuck, has now been told that he faces trial by ordeal. In his case, a day without food. But perhaps the greatest blow to Hood is the downturn in his relationship with Maid Marian. She now claims she was abducted by the so-called green people and brainwashed by Hood.
Well, I can see now what happened, you know, but at the time I was, well, they kept me out in the forest and that, and they forced me to sing songs.
What sort of songs, Mary?
Oh, well, things like Hey Noddy No and Ride the Old Fold Terry.
That's where you met this Hood, Marian?
Yeah, like, I didn't know what was going on, you know. Like, he had hypnotic eyes, didn't he? And I didn't know. Like, I don't want to sell down the stream or nothing, but it was him that did everything. I didn't do nothing.
But, Marian, you did in fact participate in robbing the Nottingham to Lincoln mail coach, didn't you?
I did, yeah, but like I said, I mean, I can't remember being there or nothing, and I was brainwashed.
Marion now claims she's been completely deprogrammed and intends to sue Hood for, amongst other things, the loss of her title, Maid. If convicted, Hood could spend a massive 25 years in the pillories. But it's not all bad for Hood. Today he clinched a multi-sovereign deal selling the ballad rights to his exploits. And his life story is soon to be a feature-length tapestry. Nathan Dix, London, the 11th hour.
Locally, of course, the big story is the election. We sent roving reporter Mark Neal out into the streets to find out what the people think.
Excuse me, ladies. What do you think the major issues are in tomorrow's election?
Oh, I don't know. Well, you've got a very nice smile for starters, sweetie. Very nice smile indeed. You know, a lot of them today, they're not nice, are they? You know? Oh, yes, the youth of today. Well, yesterday, for instance, I was just sitting on a tram and I was minding my own business. You know what the youth of today did?
No.
Let off. Yes. And there was no drunkard escapes with a loud humming or nothing. Yes, he was that proud of himself. And you know, I says to him, I says, did you do that, Pong? You know, because it stunk something awful. Oh, well, you should have heard the language that came out of that kid's mouth.
I see, so that's public transport, that's the problem.
Oh, I certainly do. Yes, no, it's not the kiddies' fault, is it? Oh, no, it's not the kids' fault. You can't blame them. It's the mothers.
Childcare?
It's the working mothers and the childcare, yes, because, well, you know, they take the kiddies off to the crèche. And they go home and have group sex, do they? Oh, yes, it's common knowledge. And that's where our taxes go.
Well, it's taxation then. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Transport, childcare, taxation. That about sums it up. Mark Neal for 11th hour.
You know, want to know what I reckon about elections? If you were to ask me what I reckon about elections, I would tell you one thing. I would say that there's no need for elections because we can live together in peace and harmony in the world as one. You know what I mean? Come on, arsehole, move up. Who do I reckon is going to win the election? I'll tell you what, the Libs are going to have as much chance as Collingwood to win the election, I reckon. The Liberals are about as much use as Liberace would be a centre-half back for Collingwood. Well, for North Melbourne, anyway.
So much for the opinions of the person on the street. Now let's cross to Elliot Goblet, top political analysis. Elliot.
It's now exactly 4 weeks to the start of the 1985 football season. I've come up with a 20-page submission to the Victorian Football League on how our game might be improved. The main points are as follows. The players race to be relocated so that footballers come out of the arena via a trapdoor in the centre circle. Centre bouncers to be the best out of 3. The main scoreboard to be smartened up and decorated with artificial fruit. A reported player to be automatically banned from playing football for life, or 2 weeks, whichever is the lesser. Goal umpires to be eliminated and goals decided by the crowd show of hands.
Thanks very much, Elliot Goblet. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Would a bank manager understand what it's like to live beyond your means, to get in over your head and find yourself thousands of dollars in debt? Would he know what it's like to borrow a couple of thousand from his own branch in desperation and bet it all on a horse only to have the mongrel disqualified on a protest? Jeff Holmes of our Surrey Hills branch does. The Commonwealth Police, helping people come to terms with embezzlement.
Hardcastle?
Yes?
I've examined your husband.
Yes.
Tell me, have you had him long?
Oh, about 14 years, I suppose.
She's been faithful?
Yes, well, you know, he's strayed occasionally.
You let him sleep inside, I suppose?
Oh, no, not anymore. He snores, and to tell you the truth, he's a little bit on the nose now.
Yes, they tend to get a bit like that at his age. Look, I don't know quite how to put this, but I think probably it'd be best for all concerned if we just put him down.
But it's only a strained finger.
It's only a strained finger at this stage, but he's at that age where things are going to start going wrong. It's going to be nothing but trouble from now on.
But he's only 47.
I know, but I think it's probably best if you can remember him as he is now rather than letting him degenerate and his teeth fall out and his hair fall out.
Oh, well, if you think so.
I really think it is for the best.
The children have become so attached to him, you know.
I know, that always happens. I think the best thing you can do in those circumstances is to very, very quickly get another one. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple of strays that have been dropped in here. There's a young pup who came in this morning. Big, frisky sort of chap, very friendly. Do you want to have a look at him? Very good with children. I'll show you to him. Come on.
All right.
Well, we don't seem to be getting too much of a response on the old telephone phone in now. I'll make it quite clear. I think the election blackout stinks. I think I'm waiting for your phone calls on that right now. In fact, I'll go even further. I think the media ban should be dropped. I think there should be advertising right up to the last moment of the election in the polling booths themselves. I think people should be allowed. In fact, they should be forced into the polling booths themselves with lots of material, stuff like that. I think there should be no media ban. I think all politicians, their complete documentation should be revealed to the public, and their wives should have to sleep with other people as well. If you've got any opinion on that, if you've got a yes answer, give us a ring on it. If you've got a no answer, give us a ring. I'm waiting for your calls, ready to go. Darren Hunch, any of those topics, please give me a ring.
Since time immemorial, it's been the same old story. The man goes out to hunt, and the little lady stays back in the cave to look after the kiddies. Now, we all know women's liberationists have been bleating about that for some years now, but now a group of men have started whinging about what they call their sex role conditioning. Ian and Michael, you've started a men's consciousness raising group. What's it all about?
Basically, George, it's a meeting where men get together and we try to improve the way we relate.
What, to chicks?
Women are persons. They
not chicks.
We don't call them chicks or that.
They've got a right to be called persons, I think,
They're
George.
persons.
What, does it relate to persons then?
And to men and persons, yeah.
Look, what do you blokes say to the charge that you're just involved in this to give yourselves an unfair advantage over other blokes?
Oh, that's just nonsense.
No, what we're trying to do, George, is to really cut down on being competitive. Now, I admit that there's a danger in us being smug about being so uncompetitive. We have to guard against that. For example, I think, Michael, at one stage you had a real problem with being smug because you had the smallest penis in the group.
Are you all hung up about the size of your peni?
I was. I was? Oh, you missed that group. You did. I used to be really hung up about it, George. I was a typical man. I would go into a public toilet. I would never, ever use the urinal. I'd always go into one of the cubicles and shut the door, stay there for about 5 minutes and then rustle a bit of paper. You know? Since I've been going to the meetings, I've just shaken off that hang-up and I'm really upfront about it. I walk out leaving the seat up and everything now.
That's beautiful.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, well, that's all very nice and everything, but let's get down to the point. I mean, this sexual liberation thing, it basically means that you can sort of do it with anyone you want to, doesn't it?
I think you mean sexually non-exclusive relationships.
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound as good when you put it like that.
One thing that we really try to do, George, I think, and this is very important, is to get out of the obligation that's put on men to perform sexually. Michael's made big inroads on that, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, if I go to a party or something, you know, even before, and I see a woman, even before I'm introduced, I go up and I make a point of saying, I just refuse to perform sexually for you.
Well, how do they usually react to that?
I think they're relieved.
Yeah.
Look, you blokes are avoiding the issue. Like, what do you actually feel, you know, deep down inside when you see a really good-looking woman?
We don't feel anything because we just don't... We've deconditioned ourselves, George. We just don't feel attracted to attractive women.
Yeah,
Well, are you attracted to unattractive women then?
Yes, but they seem to resent it.
Look, I'm going to have to be blunt with you blokes. Is this just another way to con off women?
No, George, no.
Way.
For a start, we always let the women make the first move.
Yeah, well, how long do you usually have to wait for that to happen? Well, let me put it this way. How long is it since you last had sex, say, you know?
Well, it depends what you
do you
mean by
by
sex.
Having
Yeah.
sex. We all have
We're all
sex.
having sex all the time.
I mean,
in one
a
sense.
look, a gesture can be.
I mean, just being in the same room can be sexual.
Social work department, Lynn speaking. Oh, Sal, hi, how are you? Talk about ESP. Yeah, I was just about to call you. Oh, I'm coping well, considering I was coked out of my head last night. Oh, look, I've had the most incredible day. Yeah, well, listen, first client waltzes in this morning, and you'll never guess who. And by the way, you mustn't breathe a word of this to anyone. It's strictly confidential, okay? All right, well, have a guess. No, Joanne. No, not fat Joanne, slim Joanne. No, listen, listen, anorexia nervosa. Yeah, but Sal, she looks fantastic. So slim. Yeah, I just felt gigantor next to her. Well, apparently, what you do is you stick your fingers down your throat, right? Oh, I know it sounds unattractive, but looks great. Well, that's what I said, stuff aerobics, yeah. Anyway, a day of coincidences because, do you remember the smelly family from Kintore Avenue? Yeah, one of them, vile little creature, had to use a whole can of Glen 20 after she left. And the grammar, wince. Anyway, poor self-concept because her boyfriend's just dropped her. But honestly, Sal, she's lucky to have caught a guy in the first place. I mean, if I can't get a guy, anyway, she's preggers. Now, tell me honestly, Sal, who in this day and age has an unwanted pregnancy when there's so much information so freely available on contraception around? Stupid, don't you think? What's that? Oh, Sal, how overdue are you? Oh, hey, listen, no, it could happen to anyone. Hey, don't worry about it. Hi, my name's Lynn Suter. I learnt to social work in less than 8 hours at the Australian School of Social Work. I now enjoy a well-paid and secure position. You too could join a helping profession. Just ring and we'll send you a free brochure tomorrow. Cheryl, don't move your head. Just move your eyes over in that direction. Yellow jumper, first row. What do you reckon?
Nah, he's too good looking.
What for?
To be hetero. I don't know, Marianne. Sometimes I don't think it's worth being a comedy groupie. We haven't even met one guy yet.
It's funny, Shez. In fact, I never meet any guys when I go out with you. I wonder why.
You think it's me, don't you?
Oh, don't be silly.
Come on, Marianne, tell me the truth. You think I'm boring, don't you?
Oh, Cheryl, don't. You're putting me in an awkward position.
Marianne, come on. You reckon I'm retarded, don't you?
Cheryl, don't be so rude. If you're retarded and I'm your friend, how do you think that makes me look? Thanks very much.
God, my thrush is killing me.
Embarrassing.
Marianne, if I don't get a guy soon, I'm gonna kill myself.
Cheryl, death's a pretty fatal thing.
Celibacy's worse.
Come on, Shez. I reckon you're just too obsessed with guys and sex.
I'm obsessed without him.
Cheryl, come on, let's just try not talking about sex just for 1 minute.
All right, you start.
Okay. What would you like for your birthday? Cheryl!
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you thought it.
You can't help what you think.
Oh, come on, Shez, just this once.
All right, you choose a topic.
Okay, politics.
All right, what do you reckon Bob Hawkerty like in the sack?
Cheryl, will you stop? Look, stop objectifying guys sexually all the time.
Why not? Can't think of anything better to do with them.
Oh, come on, Cheryl. Look, you've got to treat them as people.
Why should I? They don't treat me as a person.
That's because you're not.
Oh, yeah. Well, if they're people, why don't they act like it?
Cheryl, it's because they're oppressed. You should treat men and women exactly the same.
That means I'd never get laid.
Cheryl, you don't anyway. Look, you just put guys on a pedestal. What about your girlfriends? Aren't they important?
Mary Ann, I like girls. I just prefer to do it with guys, all right?
Look, Cheryl, you shouldn't treat guys any differently just because they have, you know, peni.
Can't think of a better reason.
Cheryl, that's discrimination.
Thanks.
Cheryl, it's sexual discrimination. It's not a good thing.
Why?
Have you ever been sexually discriminated against?
Not by someone else, no.
Well, I have. And I didn't like it. I nearly didn't get the job at the office because I'm a female.
Yeah? Why did you get the job?
Because of my personality.
Yeah, they're big, aren't they?
Cheryl, that's not why I got the job. That's not fair. The boss is a really happily married guy. It's just that his wife doesn't understand him. And if I didn't understand him on the occasion, they would have split up by now. I'm a marriage saver.
Yeah, well, if I don't get to say them married pretty quick, I'm gonna bust.
Speaking of busting, Shez, I've got to go to the ladies.
Yeah, me too. I'm dying for a tiss.
A tiss? What's that?
Leave me alone, will you?
Come on, let's go.
Well, I'm Darren Hunt. We're in the middle of a telephone poll booth. We don't seem to be having too much of a response here. Remember, the issue is, should there be an election blackout? I say no. If you think otherwise, ring in. Let's know what your opinion is. I don't want to be controversial about this, but I think they should abolish all capital punishment. I think they should allow unlimited Asian immigration into Australia. I think they should disenfranchise women voters, and I think all Catholics should be taxed double. Give us a ring. I want to know your opinion. I don't want to be controversial. Give us a ring. Let's get things happening here. Darren Hunch, I'm ready to go on any of those issues. Let's get things happening.
Hello and welcome to another Let's Talk, the segment where we examine contemporary languages. Tonight, let's talk Hoon. Hoon is a local Australian dialect which developed in the early 1950s. It is used mainly by people who attend football games, cricket matches, or who drive supercharged Monaros. It is a very valuable lesson to know just in case you find yourself trapped at a football club pie night or in a West Maribyrnong tram. So pens ready now and let's talk Hoon.
Hey, knackers, how they hanging?
Hello, I hope you are well.
Geez, great party last night, eh?
I feel unbelievably ill.
Hey, mate, get your end in?
Did you enter into a short-term relationship with a girl?
Me? Oh, get stuffed? That bunch of moles? I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot barge pole, no, mate.
They all said no.
Look, mate, I only take the best, all right?
I'm still a virgin.
Hey, guess what? I've just dropped a 427 full-blown twin overhead cam high-rise manifold rocker roller 400 carby Holly, twin clutch-plated 4-speed overdrive top loader fuel nitrate fuel injected jet engine into the E.H. Holden.
Next week, I'm going for my learning spell. There. That wasn't so hard, was it? Let's have a look now at some of the everyday Hoon phrases. Great bloke, someone who works in a pub. Really grouse bloke, someone who owns a pub. Mongrel, someone who refuses to buy you your 27 schooner before you drive home. Phone booth, an endangered species. Train, transportation for apprentice hoons. Smart ass, someone who uses words over one syllable. Pub, a boxing arena. Car park, an outdoor boxing arena. Gutless, someone who has all their own teeth. Hoofda, someone who doesn't know the 1963 grand final scores. Bastard, an amusing companion. Gutless Poofda bastard, a policeman. Well, we hope you'll keep practicing some Hoon when you've got a spare moment at home. Until next time, it's bye-bye.
Go on, clear off then. Go on, off you go, you young larrikin. We don't need types like that around. Oh, sorry. Uncle Arthur Robbins just doing my job as commissioner, just throwing out a young larrikin he was, some sort of university student up to some sort of orientation week stunt he was. I said, we don't need types like round here like that, thank you very much. I said, get yourself a haircut and get the earring out of the ear, then maybe you can come back. I said, don't need types like that around here at all. I know what they're capable of. I've got a job down the local crossing down there at the high school, helping the kids cross the crossing there. In the 3 years I've been doing it, we've only had accidents with about 8 or 9 kids, you know what I mean? And 3 of those were pushed for giving cheek, so I won't take any bloody cheek from the kids, you know. I'm very quick to throw the old leg over. Should have a bit more respect for blokes like me who've given blood for their country. I was only down the blood bank yesterday. I said, take my blood. I said, take my blood. I said, mixing in with some of that AIDS stuff. I said, my blood will beat the living daylights out of it. I said, dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's a very sad state. I'm sorry, I'm just having a bit of a go at the young kids here. I should be watching the 11th hour here. They're doing a terrific job. I had a bit of a word to the producer after the show last week, and I said, if you ever need a bit of a hand, I said, just give me the date and I'll be there. And he gave me the 11th hour sign, you know what I mean, and mentioned something about inserting a script in someone's date. I'm not too sure what it was, but you know, I'm sure he'll get back to me later on. Listen, I'll let you get back to the show, and I'll just get on with me crossword, and I'll see you all later from Uncle Arthur. See you later, young kids. See you later.
Hi, I'm Woody Handelman from Woody Handelman's Organ City Centre in liquidation. I've sold all my organs, but the liquidators want more. The liquidators have said, Woody, sell your own organs. You heard right, sell your own organs. I'm selling my own organs here at Woody Handelman's personal liquidation organ sale. How's your liver? Try Woody Handelman's liver. Hardly touched a drop. She's got to go. $15.99. Eyeballs galore. How's your son? I'll sell them. $15.99 a pair, or I'll break them up. I got hearts. Woody Handelman's personal pacemaker. She'll keep on ticking. She'll keep on running. She'll keep on beating. I'm selling it. Out she goes. Come in and see Woody. Make him an offer. Look me over. Twist my arm. If that's gone, twist something else. I got genitalia to burn. Surprise the wife. Surprise the girlfriend. Come in. Make Woody Handelman an offer. He can't refuse. Woody Handelman's Organ Liquidation Centre. I'm dying for your business.
Welcome back to the 11th hour. The 11th hour, it's totally rooted in fact. Well, tonight's drawing on, some of you will be looking for some action out there. Let's see what the party scene is like from our Party Watch helicopter. Jelly Boy.
Thanks very much, Steve. Well, we're here hovering now over Kangaroo Ground, and it's a mud brick commune called The Humpy, just off Reynolds Road, and the scene here can only be described as a disgusting hippie turn. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I can see down now the scene when we arrived was fairly grim. There was a 4-ute pile-up on the bark chip driveway, and someone scraped all the Don't Damn the Franklin stickers off the myriad of combis there. The scene inside's not much better. The solar-powered cassette deck chewed up the red gum tape shortly after sunset, And that brought on a barrage of acoustic music, accompanied by flute. I think it was a Fairport Convention live at the Save the Gay Fig Tree concert. That drove many of the more discerning partygoers our way out into the cider sculling competition on the veranda. I wouldn't go into the laundry here if I were you. It's awash with rough red and tasty cheese cubes. So if you're in the mood for a bit of hummus on your desert boots, pack on those alpaca vests and get on down. This is Jelly Boy for Party Watch.
Thanks, Jill. It looks like there's plenty of action out there tonight. And another place where there's plenty of action is in Epping, where one of our major sporting events is about to happen.
Well, good evening, fight fans, and welcome to Domestic Fight. Live tonight from 198 Station Street, Epping. It's a big one. It's one the neighbours have been waiting for some time. Heavyweight fight. They've been married for 17 years. They'll be fighting in a standard regulation-sized kitchen using standard 2-pound crockery. It's a pleasure to welcome to the commentary position former heavyweight domestic champion of the world, Ted, master misogynist, Abercrombie. Ted?
Well, thank you, Sandy. Well, I don't think there's really much in this one. Arlene's looking very strong tonight. And let's face it, Fred hasn't won a round in 16 years.
Well, that might be the case, Ted, but he's been training hard. He's been down the pub for 2 hours, a lot of problems at work and a lot of pent-up aggression. I personally am expecting a very, very big fight.
And there goes the bell for round one.
And they're away, and they're both sizing each other up, having a bit of a look around.
There's your dinner. Hope you're satisfied. It's cold.
Ooh, he leads off strong.
And he burns.
Yes, he uses his wind well, this boy.
Yes, he's a master of passive aggression. Oh, shut up.
And she's right back pounding at his self-esteem.
Oh, he's in there, but he's unsteady on his feet.
That's what you do. You leave your clothes around everywhere. Kick up after you all the time.
Jabbing away.
Look at those fucking belts.
Working on the inside.
Jeez,
Look at her work away.
Jabbing
God knows
with
where
his
you been
inside.
this evening.
I was down the pub with Ron.
He covers himself, yes.
And she throws one at him. I think that was a salad bowl.
It was a teapot.
It was a beautiful right-hand teapot.
I'm leaving.
Oh, she's playing a trump card.
Look at that. Did you see the way she did that? Magnificent. Well, that's the end of the first round, and that was a big one.
Yeah, she's gone out. She's gone out, and he's locked himself in the loo.
Well, that was a fabulous round for him. On a compulsory must system, I scored him a 10 and her a 6. Terrific scoring.
Absolutely. He's very strong. He's in there working away without eating. It's good to see because he knows she can't stand the sloppy way he eats. He's wearing her down.
He's found a weakness there, and he was eating.
And there goes the rerun of the teapot incident. And she winds up, she's going for a knockout, and he dodges. Ooh. Beautiful work, beautiful.
Ooh, look at that.
There goes the flush for the start of round 2.
And he's back into the kitchen. He's drinking still. He's looking a bit cocky now, showing off to this audience. Very
well. Very well.
He must know he's ahead on points. And in she comes.
She comes.
Really, I think she senses she's down. She's got to get straight on with the job.
You're a no-hoper. You don't do nothing to help anybody else. You just think of number one the whole time, you big lump of blubber. Well, as far as I'm concerned, we're through. I don't
Look
want
at her
nothing
go.
to
She's
do
coming
with
out with a
you
flurry of
anymore.
insult.
A flurry of
You
insults.
can't even get it up anymore.
Oh, that was below the belt. She's been warned once before about that because these fights are supervised by the rules of the Marriage Guidance Council.
And they must be thinking about stepping in about this point. I'm pretty sure of that.
Look at him. He's really hurt by that.
How can you do this, Billy?
Oh, following through there.
Even the best years of his life.
She's hitting him with a heavy guilt trip. Look at this. Magnificent.
It's all down for you when you're sick.
Oh, look at him.
She's pouring it on.
I can't stand it. I'm done, Billy.
She's pouring it on.
Oh, love.
And he's down. He is down. He is capitulated. He's over. That was the most surprised twist I've seen in a long, long time. He was ahead on points, looking quite good, and all of a sudden she came in, she worked away the inside.
Kept working away then.
And then with one magnificent bit of work with the right hand at the kitchen sink there, she did it.
And she did it. She got right in and stayed there.
And it's over, yes, it's all over here. He's seen her point of view and he's starting to do the dishes.
Yes, Ted, that's a bit of a shock ending because I had him ahead on points at that particular point in the fight.
Yes, but as I said, true to form, he went to water.
And so that's it for another edition of Domestic Fight here kitchen side. We say good night. Don't forget to join us next week when we bring you live from Canberra, the Labor Party caucus.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great pleasure being here with you. We hope you'll join us again next week for the 11th hour, where we'll present for you, for your entertainment and enjoyment, the very best that we can muster. And before we go, I want to thank our director, Graham Rowlands, our floor manager, Ron, our producer, Ian McFadgen, our studio audience, and you at home, especially you at home, for watching. And whether you're a sickie in a sick bed or an oldie, or whether you're a kiddie who should be in bed, we want you to know that the ratings, we're moving with you. You're very dear to us. We hold a very important part in our heart for you. Join us again next week for the 11th hour. And remember, Australia, farewell. Good night, Australia. See you next week.
This is Darren Hunch here. I'm still waiting for your calls on the election blackout issue. I don't know what's happening here. We seem to be having a little trouble. In case there's any doubt whatsoever about my position, let me make it absolutely clear. I think all pensioners should be burnt alive at the stake. I think all red-headed people should be forced to eat live chickens. I think babies should be raised by wolves. I think Mike Carlton should be forced to have a relationship with Yana Vet on a yacht. Well, look, I think that's pathetic. I think that is absolutely pathetic. It's one of the greatest pieces of apathy I've ever seen in my entire life. I think I've got as much chance of generating an intelligent discussion out of you lot as of Australia has got of winning the cricket.